This week in TV streaming, we have an obvious update for a fan favorite show. We have a not so obvious update for a show that fans are pretty nervous about. And then we have another obvious update for a show that was once loved and now not so much. We're going to talk about all that, so let's get into it. Hello, nerds! This is the weekly TV news show. Not like the evening news with Tom Brokaw. No, nothing like that. This has more to do with TV shows, nerdy-oriented TV shows, as well as episodic content that you will find on streaming platforms. If this is your kind of thing, then you can check out the full episode that I like to call The Week in Nerddom that covers all spectrum of pop culture and just generally nerdy things over on the main channel. You can find it linked down in the description or at the end of this video. All of that being said, let's talk about TV shows and nerdy stuff like that. Okay, where are we? TV. We have follow-ups and corrections. Follow-up for Fallout official announcement because, again, I really thought this was already done. Fallout Season 2 is happening. Link in the description if you doubt me. That's our follow-up. Let's get into some regular-ass news because there's some juicy stuff here. First up, we have Family Guy. This is kind of a quick one. This honestly, technically, I guess, was a follow-up because we talk about Family Guy from time to time, so it qualifies. But Family Guy is getting 2 very special episodes this year, going direct to Hulu. It's going to be a Halloween episode and a Christmas episode. So, sure, thank you, Seth MacFarlane, for continuing to make the Griffin family just that much better. I don't know. And then, all right, so let's get into The Office. This technically is a follow-up, but it's been a while since we talked about this, so I felt like it was more worthy of a proper news segment. So, The Office is getting a new series. I chose those words very carefully. It is not going to be a reboot. They're not going to be retelling the story that we got from the American Office the first time. This is going to be a completely new cast of characters, a completely new story, a completely new office, like the physical building in which it takes place, like office building. So, that being said, we just got our first casting announcements for this new Office series. Domhnall Gleeson and Sabrina, I'm not going to say her last name correctly, Sabrina Impacciatore, maybe? So Domhnall Gleeson, you'll know because he was General Hux. He was in at least one episode of Black Mirror. He's just kind of got a lot of nerd cred. Sabrina, I'm not going to try and say her name again. I couldn't necessarily see any nerdy things in her work previously, so this will be, I don't know if The Office necessarily qualifies as nerdy, though people do get super nerdy about the show. What roles they will be playing have not yet been announced, obviously, because we still don't have an official synopsis of what the series is going to be, I guess is the way to put that. So they're playing this all very close to the chest. Mike Judge is, though, still show running for it, so we do know that it's at least got the adapters. I'm not going to call him the creator because the creator was Ricky Gervais, but that's for the UK office, which was a completely different animal. So I think that's everything for that. Yeah, that looks like everything. So still kind of on the fence as to whether or not this is something that people actually want. I don't know that I've seen any positive reactions to this. But again, it's been a while since we talked about it, so I would have to go kind of re-scour X and any of the other social medias to really get a good litmus test of what people are saying about it. But from there, we have one other piece of news, and this is another inevitable one. It has to do with The Witcher over on Netflix. Surprise, surprise, The Witcher Season 5 is going to be the last season. We all saw that one coming. As soon as Henry Cavill quit, it was obvious it was going to go downhill from there. I don't even know if Season 4 has aired yet because I honestly don't care anymore. So yeah, surprise, surprise, no more Witcher after Season 5. That's all we got. Let's move on. Next, let's talk about our suggestions.
Why do I get the impression you forgot to push the subscribe button? I mean, it's free, so go ahead and do that, and, yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks. We'll get back to the show now. Okay, bye.
Suggestions, once again, for this week. Suggestion is Fallout over on Amazon Prime. If you haven't watched it, you must. You absolutely must. If you haven't watched Fallout and you are a fan of this show in any sort of way, if you just come here for your news, then you like nerdy things, and this is about as great of a nerdy adaptation as we've had in a long time. So it was our suggestion last week. It's our suggestion again this week. Go check out Fallout over on Amazon Prime. It's totally awesome. It exists alongside the video games. It is the most up-to-date as far as the advancement of the timeline. It's the furthest out in front of the timeline as far as the Fallout universe goes. So yeah, I really don't think any of the issues hold much water that the fandom has, but I'm willing to hear arguments. Either way, go check it out. That's your suggestion for the week. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.